And so we are going to get back here to our C drive, and we have our Handifast 2020, and this is where you should go ahead and take the main program and unzip all your files. So you'll see here that you should have all of these files once you've unzipped in your Handifast 2020 folder. Okay, and this one right here is the application. So this is where we would end up starting, and this is where we'll start today. So we'll go ahead and double click on that, and here is the main screen. And you can see first of all that there's a setup here, settings, race analysis, and exit. Over here on the right-hand side, you've got available data types. The program will work with JCapper files, daily racing form files, and this is the BRIS multicaps files. Okay, and these are the extensions that the program will go ahead and work with. Now, there's a couple of things that we have to do when we get first started. So we're going to click on Setup, and my eyesight's not that good, but anyway, it says Create Race File Directory Path. This will be the first thing that you're going to want to do. You click on that and you get this up. Now, mine is C:/2020. Now this next one is, this next step, you can't forget this. You've got to have another backslash. Okay? So this is my folder that I download from HDW to get my, I use JCapper files, and so anyway, they go into here. So this is the file path for my races, and so we're going to go ahead and save that. Okay, so that's done. Now, anytime that you change where your download files go into, you need to make sure that you change that and put the correct path file in. Then after we've done that, what we want to do is initialize the analyst flag. Now you're going to do this just one time, and one time per installation. So you can see here a message box comes up and it says analyst flag initialized. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Now, if you end up having a computer meltdown or you have a problem and you have to erase everything and then reinstall the program, then you go back and you initialize again. But you only have to do it once, and then if the program stays stable, which presumably it will, then you can go ahead and not have to worry about that again. Okay, so now we'll go to Settings. And you can see here that we have, well, let's see, we just did that, right? Initialize the analyst flag, create the file directory. Okay, so we'll go to Settings. We're going to create, well, we'll initialize the analyst folder. And then we'll go back into Settings. And now we're going to create the analyst folders. Once you click on that, you'll see you've got a nice box come up. It says type a name for analyst folder. Now, you can name this anything you want to. I like to put Handy 1. And so I'll go ahead and create that folder. And then I'll go ahead and close that out. So that is the folder that you're going to be given the option to put your analyst files in. And we'll get into what an analyst is in a second. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I usually only use one because I don't have that many different analysts. But so anyway, we're going to go ahead and we'll create a second one. And this one I will name Handy 2. And you'll see what this really kind of means here in a minute. So we'll create another folder, and you can see up here it says Handy 2, and so we're good there. All right. So we'll go ahead and move over to race analysts. That's our next step. And you'll see here, you'll see build race analysts, delete race analysts, and view race analysts. Well, we don't have any end to delete yet. We don't have any end to view, but we do need to build a race analyst. So we'll click on that. This box comes up, and what you are essentially doing is you are creating an object, and that object allows you to use whatever factors that you want to use that is listed here. And I'll go over them real quick. You've got class, distance, speed, early pace, late pace, form, performance class, average purse, prime power. This would be like brisk prime or HCW prime, average speed, dirt. This is best speed on dirt. This is the fast number. This is what the whole program was based on when it was originated by Doug Woods and his wife. And it's a long algorithm of many, many factors. And it's basically stands for, form adjusted speed total. And then we have a trainer, we have jockey, then the speed 3 races back, the speed number for 2 races back, and then the last race, last speed. And then we have a Carroll speed. This is off of, well, it's Carroll speed, and it's off the algorithms and that he put up or put together. And then we have 3 things here. Power speed combo. This came from Dick Mitchell's book. Here's Mitchell Power. And then we have the morning line. Oh, and I skipped class consistency. So it's class consistency, power speed combo, and Mitchell Power. And those were all put in by Hedgehog, I believe. And then we have morning line. Okay. And then days away. So the morning line basically gives you, you can apply points to it, and the lower the line, it's inverse. Everything else is based on a higher number. And then morning line and days away are based in the reverse or the inverse, and they are based off of the lower numbers are the more powerful, obviously. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and build our first analyst. All right, and I'm just going to build a couple here for demonstration purposes. But we'll take class. You click that, you get this here. So the most points that you can assign to a factor is 250. All right, so just for brevity, I'm going to go ahead and calculate 100. And we'll jump down here to the fast number. We'll give it 100 also. And, all right, we'll go last speed here. We'll give it 100 also. Okay. Now, let's say you wanted to add it, you were going to use 4, let's say jockey, and you wanted to give it 50 points, and then you say, oh, darn, I pushed the wrong button. I actually wanted it to be 75. All you have to do is just hit the clear button. That clears it out. Go back in and put your 75, and then calculate again. Okay, so there's an analyst that we've just built, and basically what that means is, I'm sorry, flies flying around here. Anyway, what it basically means are these the 4 categories that you're going to handicap a race off of the 3 factors. Or actually, let's see, how many did I get here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that is that. Now, here are the scales. And so basically, these give you options as to how to spread out the points that you give each factor. There's the Woods, and that's the one came originally from Doug Woods, Then there's Fibonacci, and that's one that I picked up from Dave Schwartz. And then Unified Theory is from one of our users named Unified Theory. So anyway, that kind of makes sense, I guess. But the Woods, to explain them, the Woods gives the factor. The horse with the top factor rating gets twice as many points, gets double the points that you have given the factor. And then the next three in line get the exact amount of points. So the top horse would get 200, the next three in line would each get 100, and the rest of the horses wouldn't get anything. And that's true for each factor. Now with Fibonacci, and I'm going to have to stretch my brain here a little bit, the top horse gets 100, the second horse gets 68 points, I believe, or 68% of the number that you apply. The third horse gets, I think it's 32 if I remember right, and then the last one gets 24. And now for United Theory, the top horse in a category gets the total amount of points that you apply for that factor. Then the second rated horse gets 75% of that factor value. The third horse gets 50%, and the fourth horse gets 25%, and the rest of the horses don't get anything. So now we've got to decide what scaling object that we want to use, and I'll just go ahead with Fibonacci. You got to double click it, and then down here you want to go ahead and type in a name for that object. Now it can be anything that you want for this analyst. I'll just type in test, and that'll be our first object, and we'll go ahead and save that. Now it gives you a folder selector, and you can see here I've got two folders. I can put it in either one that I want, but again I usually just use one, but I put two here for demonstration. Go ahead and select that, then you go ahead and close, and boom, you've got an analyst built. All right, so I'll go back and I'll build one more because we're going to need two to show you a couple of things. So go back to class and we'll give it 100, and this time we'll do an early. We'll give it 150. Calculate. We'll do the prime power. We'll make that 150. And we'll do Carroll speed, and we'll make that 100. Okay. Now, if you were to go ahead, let's say we'll throw another one in there. Let's go morning line. Okay. Now, let's say we wanted to go ahead and make it 260. When you do, you get a notice, and it tells you you can only go as high as 250 points. Okay. So you click on this, clears it out, and now you can go back and put in the value. So we'll just go ahead and put in another 150. Now, one thing that is a little bit different in this program than most others, I think, is that you can actually add negative values to these up to 250. Now, to do that, what you do is, let's see, let me pick one that I'm not super crazy about. So we'll go with, well, this is going to be kind of a speed one. So what we'll do is we'll go negative value, and we'll make late pace a negative. And let's just say, we'll make that 50. We'll put 50 in, we'll calculate, and now we've got a minus 50. Okay, and those points will be spread out based on whatever scaling object that you have. Now, since we are doing another one, we'll go ahead and use Unified Theory. Double click on it. I'll name this Test 2. And we'll go ahead and save that object. And again, we'll put it in Handy 1. Okay, and so there we go. So that's all that we need to do for the setup, and now we're pretty much ready to go. Real quickly, I will take you and we're not going to delete an analyst, and it's very self-explanatory. But let's say we want to view an analyst, select the analyst that we want to view and change. We want to look at test, and here we are. It gives us the values that we have set up. Okay? All right, we just close that. And anyway, so there we are. And now what we're ready to do is to go ahead and import the races and download them and get ready to go to run the regular program. Okay? All right, we'll get to that in the next video. Thank you.